Esther Davis, top of the evening to you, top of the day, wherever you're listening to us at the moment. It is my pleasure to introduce one of the really adventurous persons that I know, I think. Stephanie Ward. Her name is no stranger to so many people. Please welcome her to the Esther Davis Show. It's not Saturday Night Live. We changed it, everybody. We changed it from that to Friday Night Lights. And the reason it's Friday Night Lights because we want to highlight and put the spotlight on those people that are lighting up the world with their curiosity, with their travel. And she's letting her little light shine so that men may see her good works. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello, Esther. How are you?
I am just so excited about having you. You just got back, so everything is really fresh in your mind right now. About 2 weeks in Paris, my brothers and sisters. Where do you want to start?
Well, first I'd like to say thank you for inviting me onto your show. And I was in Spain, in Europe for 2 weeks, and I was in Paris for 2 days. But I have just been traveling all over Europe and just having a great time.
You look like you're having a great time. We are going to put up all of the pictures that we can about Stephanie, and this is not your first trip abroad.
No, I probably go abroad every 2 or 3 months.
Before this, here.
Every quarter I try to take an international trip. Last quarter I was in Cartagena and Bogota, and I love Colombia. I had a focus here. I try to go to places where there is a diaspora, places where there were black and brown people that were enslaved at some point. Yeah, so that really gives me a lot of insight on other cultures and people who look like me but have a different experience than I did.
And we live all over the world. That's one of the things I want to do with this show is talk about other cultures, other people, other brown and black people around the world because we're all over the world. And the language
and I did not realize that.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I'm just, you have always been sort of different with a flair because I remember your days at, I remember the art shop that you had and the wine that you would have with the art on several places in Dallas, Texas. For those of you that are just joining us, I'm Esther Davis.
Yeah.
And we're talking to Stephanie Ward. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm kind of doing now is mixing the art and the travel together because when I travel, I look for artists that are in the diaspora and I try to help them by selling their art to art collectors in America. The art there, I was in South Africa in December, and the art there is incredible and it's so much cheaper than the artwork here. So I have South African exhibit their artwork, or either I will post it on my Facebook pages, and I'll send them the money. So that helps them to, at some point, hopefully, I send them the money. Hopefully you help them to get out of those townships.
Oh, my gosh. You posted some of their art the last time, and I kept wondering, when is she going to have an art show? Yeah. When are you having an art show?
When I find out which artists people like the most, because it takes a lot to get them here. And I was thinking about doing sort of a virtual show because we as Americans can easily travel because we have our little passport and we have money and stuff like that. But for most people, most other black and brown countries, they don't have access to the resources, or it takes them years and years to get a visa. So I might have to just kind of bring the artwork here and then have them on a TV screen or something if I can't get them here in enough time. But yeah.
The other voice you're hearing is Stephanie Ward, a world traveler, She's an art broker. Now she's a broker for art and art tests around the world, and that's why we're talking to her. But Stephanie, 2 weeks in Europe, and then it's no accident that you could stop in Paris, is it?
No, I love Paris. And, they were there getting ready for the Olympics. And that was interesting to see because they started having the Olympic symbols on everything. And they were putting up the scaffolding and they were blocking off parts of the city. So, I can only imagine what it must be like when the Olympics start because there was so much energy there this week that it's probably going to be just dynamic when the Olympics starts.
Absolutely, as close as we are getting to that date. Well, let me see. Paris, just off the top of your head, what's the most fascinating city you've been to?
Wow.
Wow.
I love Paris because I love art. And then in Paris, you have the Louvre. Then you have that fantastic food, and the architecture is amazing. So Paris is kind of at the top of my list. But for other reasons, I love Colombia. I love Mexico. And I had a great time in Barcelona. South Africa. See, it's hard for me to decide because I love them for different reasons.
I can tell. Barcelona. And because a lot of these cities, we relate to them in movies, but you have actually been there, and I think that's the joy right there. And I know you took pictures, and I know you bought art. I hate to ask this question, but where are you going next?
I am going to take a group. Each year, I'll take one group trip. I'll invite all my friends and all the people that follow me on Facebook to go on a trip with me. And this year, it's going to be to Cartagena. And it's going to be an art trip where we're going to meet artists and we're going to buy original artwork and hang out on the beach and drink and just have a good time. And they have the peso in Colombia, and it is probably like 25 pesos to the dollar. So everything is so cheap there. So anybody who
25.
25 pesos to the dollar.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're talking to Stephanie. I'm Esther Davis, and she's given us all of this fabulous information about her world travels. Fits right into what we're doing with people around the world. Now, Stephanie takes groups over there. You got to give us your Facebook number, give us your Facebook and how we can see you, because I really enjoyed all the pictures that you sent back.
Yeah, I have a Facebook page called Curious Traveler, and I have an Instagram page, and then I have a website called travelingwithcuriosity.com. But it's Curious Traveler, and I'm on there with a hat on and some sunglasses. I'm the Curious Traveler on Instagram and Facebook, and travelingwithcuriosity.com for the website. And I took a group to San Miguel Allende last year, so some of those pictures are still there, and I'm going to change it out for the Colombia pictures, the Colombia information, probably in the next week or so.
How many people do you normally take? Do you have a ceiling on how many people you travel with?
Well, the last group, it was about 15.
Okay, that's
and it was
good. That's good.
Yeah, and the fun part of that was you have people who like to do different things. Some of the guys just like hanging out at the hotel and coming out at night. Then you have the ladies who like to tour and do the walking and the food tours and everything. But the fun part about it was we'd get together at night and we would do karaoke or have dinner. It was just fun kind of watching all my friends know each other and some of the, that we didn't know. And it was just a blast. So we're taking a different group. We're going to take some of the people who went to San Miguel Allende, and then we're going to take a whole another group who are mostly focused on art to Colombia. And what I'm going to do is take another 2 weeks off, and I'm going to start in Medellin, and I'm going to go to Bogota, and we're going to end up in Cartagena. So you wouldn't have anybody who wants to go. They don't necessarily have to go the whole 2 weeks. They can just kind of join us wherever we are.
This is one of my most exciting interviews because I love to travel. And when you could go through the eyes of somebody else or through the eyes of somebody you know, it's even more exciting. I'm talking to Stephanie Ward, the world traveler, on Friday night, and this is Friday Night Light, so she's definitely letting her light shine all over, all over the world. I've known Stephanie 25 or 30 years, so she's really, really good people and extremely knowledgeable about the art world. Wow. Well, let me see.
Esther,
you got to get out
what
Facebook.
I want to do is to encourage people to travel more because it's not as expensive as people think. There's a couple of different websites they can get on. One is called, they can sign up, it's called thriftytraveler.com. And what this website does is they send out weekly updates of cheap fares because sometimes the airlines will post, they'll make mistakes and they might say something like Japan for $300. And if you sign up really quick onto the website, you actually get a ticket to Japan for $300. So what Thrifty Traveler does is it looks for all those little glitches, the scales and all that. Because it only took me 50,000 miles to go to Europe for this 2 weeks. It was only
50,000 miles on an airline? Where?
Yeah, airline. But what I do is I put everything on a credit card. My phone bill, my gas, my food, I put everything on there on an airline credit card. So I get all these miles just from my grocery shopping or my electric bill. And at the end of the year, I have all these miles or whatever. And then I go and they have mileage sales on the airline. So like I was able to go to Mexico for 5,000 miles. So what you do is you parlay those miles in the hotel into a stay. You just use that credit card for everything. And if your listeners need the links to the best credit cards to use, I can post those on my Facebook page and they can just click those links and start using those. The trick is pay it off every month. Don't accumulate debt. Pay it off every month. So you're only using it for stuff that you are going to buy anyway. And most of these credit cards, when you first,
go ahead.
When you first get the credit card, over the limit. You're gonna, if you get the credit card on an offer, like I have a couple of credit card applications now, that all you have to do is apply for the card, use it one time, and they'll give you 75,000 miles. So that's enough for an overseas ticket and a ticket to somewhere in the U.S. round trip. So you want to get the credit cards when they're giving you all these free miles. So you automatically get a free trip.
We're talking to Stephanie Ward, and I'm just in awe about her knowledge, but I shouldn't be because she's always been this way. But what's important is that we got to travel. We have got to travel, get out and see, because we have so many people coming into our country. Why don't we go see them? And this lady is definitely, absolutely, 100% a world traveler, and she's an expert in art. Now, when are you going to do a showing so we can see and hear and listen to you live?
That's a good question.
Had that crossed your mind at all?
Yes, I have a gallery in South Africa that we've been working on something. We hadn't gotten a date for it, but they're going to send me some artwork, and I'm trying to find a location here. And then I have an artist in Nigeria. So I'm trying to put all that together before the end of the year and be able to showcase this wonderful artwork from around the diaspora.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to put you in touch with some of the, I have two archbishops on my show. They live here, but they are from Nigeria, and we have a large audience. In fact, the more I think about it, we're in about 18 countries now on another show. And I will definitely mention that to them because they go home on a regular basis.
Really?
That's part of it. Yes, they do. They have, even we had a group but we'll talk about that. So my audience we're having this really, really victorious conversation with Stephanie Ward, who is an art broker, an art entrepreneur, has been in this world or been in this industry for so long. delightful person. And she travels. She just spent 2 weeks abroad. She sent us a lot of good dreams, things to dream about with your Facebook. What is Facebook again, Stephanie?
Curious Traveler.
Curious. Cirous.
Curious Traveler.
Okay. Curious.
And the website is Traveling with Curiosity. And it's Curious Traveler on Instagram too.
Oh my gosh.
Tons of pictures, and if they have any questions about art or travel, I would be just more than delighted to answer them or give them whatever information I have.
Well, will you come back and talk to us later on? Because this is done. I know this is a spark. Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
For inviting me. I appreciate it.
You are most welcome, especially with my audiences in the other countries and just here in the wonderful U.S. of A. But, now that you've had, before we go, and I try to keep these to about 20 minutes so people don't get too bored with everything, but with all of your travels, where are you originally from in the States, Stephanie?
Well, I call home where my family lives is in Louisville, Kentucky. But my other kind of home is the Bay Area. That's where I went to college and I spent a lot of time. And Dallas is home.
Home.
Yeah.
This is where you've been.
Yeah, that's where I live.
And she's had several art galleries. Let's see how good I am. I remember the one on Greenville Avenue.
Yeah.
And then you had to be the first African American business person at Deep Ellum.
Yes, definitely.
What was it Deep Ellum from the very beginning? I think
it
was
North Dallas. It was North Dallas near North Park Mall, and then I moved over to the Greenville Avenue, and then I had a store simultaneously in Plano, and then I moved to Deep Ellum.
Did. Yeah, 15th Street in Plano. Wow, we've had an exciting evening. Very exciting Friday night with Stephanie Ward, the global traveler and curious traveler. You really set the tone for the weekend and the rest of the week. Hey, you guys, join us Monday. I have the Archbishops at Fishbowl. And go into Stephanie's website. And you know what? In the meantime, you really are the greatest artist in the world. It's Esther Davis. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you, Esther. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.